Hey everyone, and welcome back to Practically Zero Waste, a podcast for making zero waste living as practical as possible. Thank you for being here with me, for all of your ratings and reviews, for your kind Instagram messages, and for helping me share these zero waste ideas with all the world. If you're listening to this episode before May 29th, 2019, then you still have a chance to enter our giveaway contest to win a few practical items for making low-waste shopping even easier. Head over to our social media at Practically Zero Waste Pod to leave a comment and leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts to enter. Best of luck! This week's episode is a fun and informative chat with Bailey from the Cloth Diaper Podcast, where we debunk complicated rules and costs with cloth diapering and chat where to get started and why. And if you have any questions after the episode, we'll put all the info to get in touch at the end, so stay tuned. So you run what is called the Cloth Diaper Podcast. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So my little snippet is that the Cloth Diaper Podcast is a somewhat regular show because I like to take breaks when I'm getting overwhelmed.
That's nice.
Dedicated to everything cloth diapering. And so we talk with a lot of cloth diaper parents, a few retailers, and cloth diaper brands, mostly right now in Canada and the United States, but I'm totally open with sharing stories from around the world, just about the cloth diapering experience and journey, because I figured everybody has a different story to tell, and that was kind of what was missing out there on the internet, were all these amazing stories, and not everybody has time to blog, so thought we would try to compile it.
And not everyone has time to read blogs. I listen to podcasts because I have to spend time with a child, and it feels like I'm talking to adults every day. It's really nice.
Oh, I mean, that has been the really nice thing. I've recorded probably a couple episodes while I'm here on bed rest, and talking to other adults is really nice.
Yeah,
I know. Gosh. And I'm such a blogger, though, at heart. Like, I started out vlogging and was having a really hard time with the shift of people no longer reading and consuming information. And so this seemed like a non-threatening way to talk about it.
Totally non-threatening, because I don't have to be in front of a camera. I know you also do YouTube videos, but I didn't want to do that.
But right now I'm in my pajamas and we're cool.
I know. It's great.
Yeah.
So when did you start using cloth? Did you start right at the beginning with your children, or did you choose to do it later on?
No, so we started cloth diapering right from the beginning.
Woohoo.
People ask me about like my beginning story sometimes, and that was just going to be what I did.
Yeah.
I have a background in environmental studies, and my mom cloth diapered, and I never really even entertained the idea that disposables would be part of our life at all. Just kind of knew we would do cloth diapering. So I bought 24 pre-folds and like 6 or 8 covers from our local cloth diaper shop. And yeah, we started the first week. I did give myself like a week of grace, and we just did disposables for a week.
Nice. Yeah.
And then we jumped into it.
Yeah.
The transition to motherhood can be a little overwhelming.
Oh my gosh. If anyone's heard me talk about it, I was full on postpartum depression, and it's way better now. Have kids, people. Yeah. It's great. But the first few months of my life with him was pure hell, but that's okay. Things are better now. How did you acquire your stash? You just got it brand new, eh?
Yeah, I just bought brand new because we had a local shop here in town, and I
nice.
placed an order on Boxing Day.
Nice. Which in Canada here is kind of like Black Friday.
Oh, yeah. Canadian Black Friday. Not as big and popular anymore, but 3 years ago, there was still little remnants of Boxing Day still existing. That retail location has closed down, but yeah, I just bought locally new. I did start buying a couple of things used once I kind of got going and I figured out what I wanted in my life.
Yeah. Nice.
But I try to avoid the used market. I just have been burnt a lot, so I kind of just, it's not my favorite, but there are a lot of great options out there.
Yeah, 100% of my stuff has been used. I don't think I have any new cloth diapers in my stash. And what was your getting burnt experiences?
Oh, just like the first set of used diapers that I bought, I didn't know anything. I hadn't even had my child yet, and I brought them home, and the PUL was okay, but the next wash, it just all fell apart. The elastics all needed to be replaced. And while I think of myself as handy, I'm not that handy. And I got really frustrated really quickly, and it was just kind of a tipping stone. So I've just been kind of eerie about buying used, and I'll buy a lot of absorbency used, like flats or pre-folds or inserts, because they don't have those finicky parts.
Yeah.
But if I really need a new cover, then I tend to just wait for a sale day.
Let's get into some stats for somebody who's never cloth diapered before and is kind of unsure about the whole process. About how many cloth diapers does a child use per day? So somebody who's under 1 year old, let's say.
So under a year, this is a big variable, as you know. Like a newborn can easily use 10 to 12, whereas a 1 year old 6 to 8. So most people that I talk to, they say they have 10 diapers for a 1 day stash. Just in case. My kids were poopers, so we're like, they pooped all day, all the time. So we were definitely on the higher end of using 10 diapers a day.
Yeah.
But I know parents who are able to easily get through 6 with a change every 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of think about the savings. We just recorded our interview that's going to be airing on your podcast, and we talked a little bit about savings there, but I want to talk about after the initial investment, cloth diapers are saving you money. Like, what's the average cost of diapers?
So if we look at the average cost of responsibly made cloth diapers are about $17 a diaper.
For new ones,
24 diapers for a full stash, about $400 is your initial investment cost.
Yeah.
And that's still shopping responsibly made, which is really important to me and my ethos.
Yeah.
And then disposable diapering costs 15 cents. And I think you're looking at like $1,600 to $2,000 over the course of your lifespan. I know a lot of people will argue those numbers, and it really does depend on what your disposable diapering style is. Are you a couponer? Do you have access to couponing and buying diapers in wholesale prices? Do you want to choose a diaper that's more environmentally sustainable? And so some people will disposable diaper for $800. So the cost savings not there. But if you are looking at higher end disposable diapers that have fewer chemicals, that don't have fragrances, you could easily be saving $2,000 to $3,000 over the cost of a baby's lifespan.
Yeah, like brands like Seventh Generation and Rascal and Friends, like those ones are disposable diapers that are meant to be lower chemical or chemical free, really safe for your baby, and slightly less impact on the planet, right? Or
yeah, like they're really trying to source their pulp from sustainable sources. They're trying to make sure that there's no chlorine or dioxins left in there. And so like Seventh Generation works out to be about 45 to 50 cents a diaper, both in Canada and the United States.
Whoa, compared to 50
So that
cents a
can
diaper.
really add up. I just bought a case of Seventh Generation diapers for my daughter. It was $50. It's going to last us a month. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it's going to last you a month because you're partnering it with Cloth, or?
No, we're a full-time disposable diaper right now because I'm recovering from a foot surgery.
Yes.
So
oh my gosh.
you got to give your give and take in life.
Absolutely.
And that's probably, if a lot of people part-time cloth diaper. And that's, I think, what's part about going practically zero waste. Correct?
Yeah, because
right?
it's practical, and it's also like practically there. It's not fully there, but it's practically there.
You got to be practical about things. So
Good for you.
With the recent study coming out of France about the unknown chemicals in disposable diapers, I've really, anytime I buy disposable diapers now, really try to find a product with as few fragrances and a stronger ethos that I can find, because I'm just not comfortable not knowing.
Totally. When you are not in bed rest and enjoying that little bit of a break from all the laundry, what is the washing process like? Because there is so much confusion with especially modern diapers about the modern style of a diaper that looks exactly like the basic setup of a disposable, for anybody who doesn't know, instead of in past times and in current times, but mostly the old-fashioned type of diaper was a plastic cover that would cover up a folded up cotton pre-fold, right? And so you'd have these big squares that are folded up into thirds, and then you'd stuff that in a diaper, and that would be your diaper setup. But the modern diapers have a little bit more going on, and people find them really complicated to wash, and you can't use that detergent, and you can't use the dryer, but maybe you can use a dryer, and what the heck am I doing here?
Yeah, right? Like it is completely overwhelming.
And unnecessarily so, right? You don't need it to be so overwhelming.
No, and largely a lot of us, we do make it overwhelming, but I'd say there's a big movement right now, at least amongst cloth diaper influencers, to return to the simplicity of washing cloth diapers, and it really should be and is simple. There are a lot of factors that play in and can make a wash routine more complicated, but in general, the recommendation out there, and the recommendation I give, is that you need to pre-wash your diapers or pre-rinse your diapers. So you need to be getting as much urine and poop out of your diapers as you can first. In some families, that means doing it all in the bathtub or in the toilet before they wash. And for some families, that means doing a pre-wash cycle on their washing machine. So you do that first cycle, and then you do a long, hot main wash. And that's about as much as that you need, is you just use as much detergent as you want for a fully soiled load of laundry, because you're talking about the dirtiest of dirty. You use hot water as much as you can, because hot water is a great cleaning agent. Like, we've used hot water to clean for years. And then you want agitation. You want as much agitation as you get, about 45 minutes or more, because agitation is what encourages the detergent to connect to the dirt particles and get it all out. And then you need to rinse, because you need to get all the detergent out, otherwise you're going to get rashes. And then you can dry however you want. I mostly toss my diapers in the dryer because I don't like how long it takes for them to dry, hanging them to dry. And with myself, I do like a give and take. So I dry all my diapers in the dryer, but everything else goes on the line.
Yeah.
Because a t-shirt takes no time at all to dry on the line, but a diaper can take all day.
That's
so
true.
That's my give and take in my life. I know a lot of people will hang their diapers to dry. Doesn't work for me. I also like to remind people, like, don't get caught up in rules. If you know how to wash clothing, you know how to wash cloth diapers.
Okay.
Like, just pretend you're washing your work clothes. Apply that principle. People feel very overwhelmed, and I really would emphasize that you have the knowledge and wisdom to wash cloth diapers. Like, don't get stressed out about it.
I know that there are those things about, if there's too much detergent left in them, then they'll get a rash. And if there's, too much detergent that's in the PUL fabric, then it won't be as breathable and it won't be as water repellent, all those things. But like you said, if you know how to wash underwear, then you know how to wash a cloth diaper. As far
and
as
just
getting it clean,
embrace
right?
your common sense, problem solving strategies. You really can do this.
Yes.
You really can.
Thanks for motivating us. That's so great.
Don't get overwhelmed. Please don't.
What do you recommend for nighttime? Everybody talks about how you can't make it through the night, and everybody talks about having to use a disposable at night, and you totally can. But if you are 100% hardcore, I'm not doing a disposable at night. I'm going to do what? What do I do?
So the problem about nighttime is that everybody's child has a different urine output. And so all conversations about absorbency just get totally overwhelming. And it can be very much a struggle to figure out what to do for nighttime. And my first child, we had to use fitted diapers because he was a heavy wetter, in which we really needed 25 to 30 ounces of absorbency, which is a lot. That's like when you start just exploding disposable diapers. So we used fitted diapers and wool. But my daughter is so much more chill, and I just use a heavy-duty nighttime pre-fold that I got from Nuggles Diapers in a cover, and she's so chill. Her bladder is a joke compared to my son. So it can be really hard to kind of know where to start.
Okay.
And that's the hard part, is you just have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't try a daytime diaper. Try something a little more absorbent than a daytime diaper. Throw your child in a fleece pajamas. See if you wake up wet. Keep repating.
Why fleece?
Fleece is a little bit water resistant, so I
I've
find that the
noticed
bed
that.
gets a little bit less wet.
He has a
little bit.
fleece pair of pants, and they're never wet, but he's wet underneath. That's weird.
Yeah, fleece is water resistant. So fleece covers are another really great thing that you can use to kind of combat that issues. But each child is really going to be kind of different when it comes to the nighttime. And that's why, if people are in my inbox on Instagram, one of the first things I'll suggest is an extra large receiving blanket. A lot of parents have those on hand already. If you haven't washed them with fabric softeners, and they're absorbent. So most receiving blankets are made out of cotton. The really big ones can hold 14 ounces. That's mostly what most kids need overnight. You fold it up into a pad, put it in a pocket. If it works, awesome. And if it doesn't work, then you kind of need a fitted diaper, and you need to start looking at overnight solutions. And if you're really insistent on wanting to go with a cloth diaper overnight, just chatting with retailers or work-at-home moms who specialize in fitted diapers is a really good place, because they've done that problem solving with a lot of other clients before, and they can really give you that one-on-one support that you need.
Yeah.
One of my latest shows on the podcast was with Eco Accoutrements. She's based out in Ontario. She's a cloth diaper maker, and she specializes in fitteds, and that's what she said. She says, I can really help with that problem solving, so reach out to those cloth diaper makers and those retailers, and they take advantage of their expertise. even if you can't afford to buy an entire night stash, at least buy one, and then maybe you can find the rest secondhand if that's what's in your budget.
That's great. Yeah. And
Yeah.
what is the tragedy of them waking up wet?
Just have to do more laundry.
I mean, by like one sheet, that's fine.
Yeah, you gotta wash the sheets, the pajamas. And I mean, yeah, you woke up in the middle of the night, but it's gonna take that experimenting, and you're not gonna know until you start trying. My kids are potty training right now, and that's probably even worse. It's just, you're gonna deal with a lot of wet sheets in your life.
And if you have to do laundry anyway to do your cloth diapers, what's one more little bit?
No, and if you don't already have like a wet pad for your bed, make sure you get one. Or like a dry pad, like a mattress protector. Make sure you have a mattress protector. We co-sleep, so my mattress is not plastic covered.
Yeah, you would not want. Okay, so if you're co-sleeping, that's a good idea. Is to get it covered in plastic, or
if your child's sleeping in a bigger bed already, make sure your mattress is covered in plastic.
Here's a thought: if you don't have a plastic cover or don't want a plastic cover, could you use wool?
Oh yeah, you could definitely use wool.
So like a wool blanket,
like a woolly. Yeah, my kids all slept on woolies in there whenever they did sleep in the crib.
So wool is naturally water resistant, and so you can use that as a pad underneath your sheets, and that will prevent it from leaking into the soft mattress. Is that what you're...
Yes, that's what I guess what I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah,
because then you have to replace a mattress, and that's no fun at all. Or you can get like there are brands out there that make like cotton TPU PUL style pads, like pea pad mat, that you can put underneath to prevent mattress destructions.
Exactly. Yeah. So the conversation that I have with a lot of friends about cloth is that, oh, you have your own washing machine and dryer, so totally you can do cloth, but I can't do cloth because I have coin laundry.
Okay, like, but there are parents around the world who use
Bailey.
cloth diapers in a coin laundry. I've had so many guests on the show, Karen from Little Big's Love, and Cloth Diaper Storage, who lives in Brooklyn, New York, and they all use their coin laundry machines. My man on the trail out in Kingston, Ontario, she uses her coin lop. It's just a matter of what is your mental block. Like, you've just got a mental block there that says, I have this thing and therefore I can't. But people do it everywhere, and a lot of times people will even use laundromats because it's more easy and more convenient.
Yeah, to wash like 3 laundry.
A lot of walking, and then people will be like, oh, that's so gross in a laundromat. The cloth diapers are the least of your concern. And for people who do have coin op, most of the time I hear that they do their pre-wash cycle in their homes. So they will make sure that they rinse out every diaper underneath the sink before tossing it in a bin, and then they only use their coin op machine for their drying, or not their drying, sorry, for their main wash cycle, and then they bring everything back and they dry. So a lot of families who do have coin op systems, I just see them approaching cloth diapering differently. They'll approach it with flats or pre-folds and covers so that they have smaller loads that they can use. Yeah. And there's other options as well, like diaper services where people can take your diapers away and wash them, or you rent diapers from them and wash them. I mean, these services are more expensive, but if diapering is important to you because you want to reduce your synthetics or because you want to reduce your waste, they make it work.
If you were starting cloth diapering and you had only access to coin laundry, you could do your research about how much a box of disposables costs per week versus how much you would be spending on coin laundry. And then comparing that cost, I'm sure there would be savings there if you were doing coin laundry versus buying the disposables every week. And wipes. If you were doing cloth diapers, you might as well do cloth wipes because it's just cut up scraps of fabric. And then I guess if you're trying to source your diapers, knowing that you're going to be doing coin laundry, you could buy these pre-folds, because you can, like, once the pre-fold is soaked through, like the inner liner is soaked through, then you could just take that out and replace the liner, but keep the cover, right? Like, you could use the cover over and over.
And the other reason I really suggest pre-folds or flats when people are talking about coin op is because they are so much more forgiving to wash, and you don't need a fancy machine. Like, if your coin op machine is just like an interesting piece of machinery from the 60s, I mean, it can handle simple flats or pre-folds, and some people just use simple inserts, but I would just like rethink and reframe what your problem actually is and how you can address it, because people are cloth diapering with coin ops, and it's just a matter of what's your challenge, what's important to you.
Yeah, and it could feel like an excuse, but if you're trying to do this practically, taking your stuff, taking an extra load of diapers every 3 days, maybe it just means that you own more cloth diapers and a well-ventilated bucket for them to sit in until it's time to go to the coin laundry every few days.
Yeah.
I would like to challenge myself to do a week of coin laundry, because there is a laundry machine within walking distance. Sorry, a laundromat within walking distance of my house. And I would like to just see what the experience is like so that I can sympathize with people who have to do it, because I am very lucky to have my own. My landlord's provided a laundry.
Yeah, and like some families who do have coin op, they will bring in like little washing machines into their home, or there are other get ups and goes, and it just really boils down to what's important to you, because a lot of people do cloth diaper because they have to, like it's a health reason. Their child reacts to disposable diapers and gets crazy rashes, right? So sometimes this is less of a choice, and it's just a must have in their life.
So with cloth diapers, we talked a little bit about going into cloth wipes as well for everything, and therefore you can also, you might as well skip buying paper towel, because you can just use cloth wipes to like wash everything, and then maybe you don't need Kleenex anymore, because you can just use handkerchiefs, because you're touching gross stuff every day anyway. You might as well just blow your nose.
Exactly, the slippery slope.
Have you talked with anybody who's moved on to, I don't know, they call it family cloth, which I think is a gross way of calling it, but cloth toilet paper?
I play around with family cloth. I do have such an excessive stash of cloth wipes that sometimes it's just something that I haven't made a routine in my life. I don't know if I've talked to anybody. I know there are people out there who do embrace it full time. I would say I'm more like a casual part-timer when it comes to family cloth.
Me too.
Family cloth is like, really, they do need to come up with a better term for that.
Let's say cloth toilet paper.
Yeah, cloth toilet paper. It's like, I really enjoy using it. The reason that I fall off the bandwagon is convenience, because my husband refuses to do it.
Oh, totally.
And so then there's just a roll of toilet paper there, and it's just magically convenient, right? My husband has talked about that he would be okay with going the bidet route, and that's typically what is considered another alternative, right? Or a better alternative. People say bidets over cloth. And so really I should just take him up on that one day and go buy a bidet and see if he would use it. Because toilet paper, I once looked into toilet paper, like the manufacturing and production of it, and I was just like kind of horrified. And
it requires so much water and trees to produce a single roll of toilet paper that the amount of water in comparison for using a bidet or flushing or washing cloth is so minimal in comparison. Same with like disposable diapers versus cloth diapers. People say,
because it's the same pulp.
Yeah, people say that it's hard or that it's expensive for them to wash extra loads of laundry, and that it's not environmentally friendly for them to use cloth diapers because of how much extra laundry it is. I hear what you're saying. I hear that you're seeing the amount of water that's being used to clean something. But what you don't see is how much water and how much resources goes into producing disposable diapers that will never go away. Like, they are forever going to sit in our landfills.
Here in British Columbia, the top 10 electricity consumers are mostly paper and pulp mills. Like,
right?
The amount of resources that go into the manufacturing of paper and pulp is something we can't even fathom.
Yeah. So the manufacturing of cloth and cotton and wool, like everything, synthetic fibers, it's crazy too. But if you're using secondhand products, if you're using upcycled textiles from your own home for your cloth wipes and for your cloth toilet paper, just about all of that is reusable, and you can reuse it forever. Textiles should be considered pure gold.
Yeah.
Given how much it takes to produce them.
And if you're looking at purchasing new, you can always take that into consideration when purchasing your diapers. And there are a lot of more sustainably manufactured and more sustainably produced textiles out there.
Yeah.
These are all choices that we make, and a lot of times we just don't know. I feel like I've made a lot of textile mistakes in my past, and this last year I've really learned more about the textile industry, and I'm trying to be better every day. And that's that's all I can try. Like, I can just try to be a better conscious consumer about what and how my textiles are produced.
Absolutely.
But it's a huge journey.
That's great. That is a hard amount of research to do too. People talk a lot about with their own cloth wipes. When you start searching that online, you get all of these different recipes for all of these wipe solutions and stuff like that. I literally just use a spray bottle with water in it.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Oh yeah, I just go to the bathroom sink and run them underwater.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Exactly.
It's so easy. I'm so not into essential oils or additives. Like, yeah, to me that's just another thing that had to get manufactured and brought to my home. Like, I don't see the purpose in it.
Yeah, and the effort that goes into it is less practical than just turning on the tap.
Oh yeah, and like I don't know if you've ever heard of disposable water wipes. Those are a big thing. They're literally just like bamboo wipes that are soaked in water. That's it.
So I could do that too without.
Yeah, you could do that too without spending $5 a package.
Oh my gosh, $5 a package. That's so much money. What about, is there any sort of resource for people to acquire cloth diapers for free? For people who really struggle to even buy disposables, they'd struggle to buy the startup amount of cloth diapers needed.
Yeah, so when it comes to sourcing diapers through Diaper Charities, there are cloth diaper charities in Canada and the United States. A lot of these are going to be local.
Yeah.
But there are some bigger organizations such as Jake's Diapers and the Cloth Option in the United States, giving, what's it called in Canada? I don't know. Those would be the two big ones in the States. And then we do see a lot of local kind of operations going on elsewhere, just because managing these foundations has kind of been a lot of work. So sometimes getting access to cloth diapers through a charity can be kind of a struggle, and that's where I think I really instead rely on the emphasis that cloth diapers don't need to be expensive. You can repurpose things, and that's really, if I was low income, I would really emphasize and start. It's just with $20, if you have $20 in your pocket, like receiving blankets from a thrift store and secondhand cloth diaper covers from a thrift store, or if you have old t-shirts in your closet you've never used, if you have old bed sheets that have got holes in them, these are things that can be cut up and folded into cloth diapers and used. Cloth diapering doesn't have to be fancy, and it really can start simple and be something that you just acquire over time as you get resources. But don't forget about like the simplicity of reusing things. I think we often forget about that, and it sounds really kind of like it sounds kind of tacky thing to say, right? At least it feels like saying it off my tongue. But repurposing things is really where I encourage most people to start, even regardless of your income bracket, because a lot of repurposed goods in your home are way more absorbent than the synthetic options provided.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, you can source out. There are a lot of options. I'm just not overly optimistic that everybody has access to those options, those cloth diaper charities in the States. And you don't need 24 diapers. You just need 10. Like, most people just wash every day.
And learning how to hand wash. So you've got a great couple of videos on hand washing and a few very simple ways of doing it. And I think that if anybody wants to check out that can save a whole load of laundry instead of having to do a cold water wash to get everything off and then a hot water wash to kill all the bacteria and then a dryer load. Like, that's a lot of money at a laundromat. But if you are able to just rinse in a bucket at home, do the pre-wash. You can use detergent, you can use a scrubber, you can use a plunger. I've seen you use a plunger with holes drilled into it as a big agitator, like an old-fashioned washing machine. Like, if that is something that you can do, that's great.
And I talked about it just this week on my show, on my Instagram, and I don't think it's sustainable full-time, truthfully. But I had a couple people popped on and was like, well, I literally had no other choice. So yeah, I made it work. And that's really like, if you don't have any other choice, you will make it, you'll figure it out. And there are great, easy ways to do it.
I think that's so good. And I like what you said about using receiving blankets and swaddling blankets, because darn, those things dry so fast. It's amazing.
Yeah. And old t-shirts, an extra large t-shirt great overnight solution. Yeah, don't get caught. Like, you get caught up in the hype of needing cloth diaper specific gizmos and gadgets, and you don't.
That's so true. Yeah. So what about the time? So people talk about how it's impractical because it is time consuming to either hand wash or scrub or whatever. What do you think?
So yeah, if you're hand washing, it is a time thing. That's really just going to be something that you have to make a decision based on what is going on in your family needs right now, the importance of your child's diapers. But if you have access to a washing machine and you're cloth diapering, it's not a lot of work. I mean, the washing machine does most of it, but when it comes to flats and hand washing, yeah, like it's 20 minutes. It takes 20 minutes to hand wash diapers. So what is really important to you in that moment really has to
exactly
come
just
into that
getting back
equation.
to your why you're doing this. Is this something that you're able to make time for? Is this something you can do while watching TV? Like, if you're missing out on something, are you able to do it as a social activity? Are you doing it in a bucket in the kitchen sink or something, and you can still visit with people, or you can still, I don't know.
Yeah, like, it really just comes down to what's really important. And I can't make those decisions for anybody. That's something that you have to make yourself. And it's just really good. I think the big thing about the Flats and Hand Washing Challenge, which is hosted by the Cloth Diaper Revival, is just like even acknowledging that there are simple ways to diaper and that you could do this in a cinch. I don't really think it's super practical full time, but I think that maybe if you can't afford diapers until payday, you cut up some t-shirts and use them until payday and do it until payday. And just that part-time casualness of it and knowing that it could be part-time casual can ease that financial worry.
Absolutely. And I love diaper free time. Like, it
Oh yeah,
depends, but if you're home on a mat leave, or if you Canada, you got a whole year, which is pretty sweet. But if you are a stay-at-home parent, or if you are, even just in the evening, so if your child's in a daycare during the day and you have to do cloth diapers somehow, or disposables there, and then they come home, diaper free time on an old shower curtain or on like a tile floor, it's a sweet operation because you get to delay having to put them in a diaper, and they're so happy. It's great. They can even be fully clothed in the wintertime without a diaper on, and you just have to wash that later, but you don't have to worry about wasting a diaper on them.
if we're talking like about considering thoughts of zero waste and low waste, is to consider elimination communication as part of your diapering journey. And elimination communication is responding to your child's bladder functions as the adult, as the responsible one in the situation, and a great way to reduce diapering
is to just hold them over a receptacle when you know that they need to go, and then I've done that a couple of times. I find it does take a little bit of effort on my part, and sometimes it's easier. So that's another decision that you can make personally, right? Like, is it easier for you to hold your child over the toilet or over a potty or something like that, and take that time out of your day each time you're going to change them, hold them over or whatever? Or is it less work for you to just wash more diapers? Like, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want, or you can run that that second load of laundry where you have it get washed the first time and then wash the second time, and you
just have to figure out what works for you.
Exactly. Bailey, what is your favorite thing about cloth diapering?
Okay, so my favorite thing about cloth diapering would be just the community, probably, at the end of the day. As a cloth diaper creator, I guess influencer would be the other buzzword at the time. I just love the community of women out there. That's not to say that, like any other group, they can get nasty and mean and there can be issues, but through cloth diapering, I have found women all over the world that I just really connect with, and I love that. And we all, if you are in this world in kind of a low waste mindset, it can be kind of a struggle to find other people to connect with. And while not everybody is cloth diapering for the same reasons, it can be easier to find those women, I think, in the cloth community, and like have something to connect and bond over. And that's probably my favorite thing about it.
That's awesome. I love that.
Mm-hmm. It's not easy. I wouldn't say it's easy. I've really lucked out, and I have a really great group of women who we've all raised our kids now together for the last 3 years.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I needed that hardcore when I became a mom. It was super valuable to me to have a group of other moms who were in the same boat, and we still meet, and it's been really, really helpful. So even if you're not all doing cloth diapers, it's great to have community. Community's great. Yeah. That's become a very popular theme on this podcast lately.
That's everything. It comes back to community. It really does.
Is there anybody who is really inspiring you in the cloth diaper eco-friendly community lately that you want to share with our listeners?
In the cloth diaper community, I am a huge fangirl, I would say, of 2 other influencers. So the first is Modern Bottom Babies. She's on Instagram. She's also got a blog. Caitlin has just been such an inspiration to me. She's really embraced a minimalist cloth diaper attitude, as much as one can as a blogger, where you do get exposure to brands and supporting that, right? And I really enjoy Caitlin's ethos and personality, and she's now gone on to make her own diaper bombs and balms, and just an incredible woman, I think, in her minimalist space, in the cloth diapering space. And then official, or Jay's Nest, who you can find on Instagram as official Jay's Nest, Jacqueline. I find her to be such another great inspiration, because she's been walking through the processes and just the journey of mental health and cloth diapering and postpartum and how that all plays together. Awesome. Yeah, and I think we're both a fangirl in both our ways, in that I know that she's following me quite closely, and my journey in hashtag Who Made My Cloth Diapers, and talking about the responsible textile manufacturing and responsible manufacturing of diapers. And she shares that journey with her followers in a way that is just, she's an incredible storyteller, and I have such admiration for her in her ability to share people and bring them along on a journey of discovery that extends through cloth diapering and into motherhood in such a great way. Like, right, there are some people out there who just nail storytelling, and that's Jacqueline, and so I admire her so much.
That's wonderful. So where can people find you online and learn more about you and cloth diapering and all that?
We're keeping things pretty simple. clothdiaperpodcast.com, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Cloth Diaper Podcast. Simple, keep it simple. And you can listen to my show, which is dedicated to all things cloth diapering, anywhere you listen to podcasts, as well as YouTube. We're also on YouTube, and we have tons of great cloth diaper content out there. And my podcast is just, I wouldn't say I have any great 101 series, but I do have a great other in-depth topics. And if you're into more coin-operated laundry, check out, I think it's episode 4 with Karen from Little Big's Love. She talked about that journey.
Cool. Look at us. Yeah. 2 episodes in 1. We just did it.
We've got this. Thank you. You have a great day.
Have a good day. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thanks again for listening, everyone. Bailey mentioned tons and tons of awesome resources in today's episode, so we'll toss those in the episode description for future reference. If you want to learn more from Bailey, you can go to clothdiaperpodcast.com and find her on Instagram and YouTube at Cloth Diaper Podcast, where she has lots of great tips for beginners and pros. If you want to be in touch with us, you can email practicallyzerowaste@gmail.com or message us on Instagram or Facebook at practicallyzerowastepod. Don't forget to enter the giveaway, and hey, if you're new to cloth diapering, I say give it a go. Start with your reason for doing it, because once you have that to fall back on when it's tiring or challenging, you'll never go back. Have a great week, everyone, and talk to you soon.